You are stupid. I am not stupid. I got my notes here. Because I'm kind of tired, but, the show must go on. Guys, I think you should drink even more alcohol and tackle the world's problems. Because alcohol is just the best thing for thinking and problem solving. Okay. Guys, you enjoy your alcohol. You go ahead and enjoy your alcohol. And yeah, climate change. The snow is overhead all around me. The snow in Tahoe is crazy. Yeah. The snow in Tahoe means business. And yeah. The least you could do to help the cause is also damn near the most you could do. Which is, of course, like, comment, subscribe, and share. Yes. It's all about that reciprocity. And I'm going to talk a little about how profound that is a little later. But I wanted to go into, first, I got a call from a buddy of mine. He was actually like an instructor or engineer or something over at the Grove School. We became friends, and we were in a band together called IND. And I really looked up to Mark because he was sort of at the forefront of all that MIDI stuff, and he knew how to do stuff. And I just did stuff. I didn't know how to do it. I just did stuff. So we wound up being a pretty good team. He actually built a studio at his house, and that's where we did IND. And IND was a really good industrial thing, and I might maybe play some music from my IND later. Not on this one. Not on this one. Oh, maybe. Okay. So yeah, I really looked up to Mark, and I was like saying, man, I was just a hack. He gave me a drum machine to work. I didn't know how to use it. Didn't read instructions. But I loved the thing. And I played the hell out of it. And, but bottom line is I was a hack, and he actually knew how to do things. And I was thinking, the difference between a hack and somebody that knows how to do things, and they both have their values. People know how to do things, and then a guy that will just hack stuff and get her done, right? They have their values. But the thing that I was thinking about, the difference, which is really interesting, when you have a system that you hack, and then you have to move on to a different system, you have to start all over again. When you know how to do stuff and you have a new system, you just refer to how the other one worked. Whereas a hack doesn't really know how it worked. You just hacked at it until you got it to work. You see? A very interesting distinction. Anyway, Mark and I did some of the best music, I think, that I've done. I think IND and Aftertaste was some of the best early music that I've ever done. Of course, the best music that I've ever done is the music that I'm doing now. That I'm assuming is unlistenable to most of you or most folks. But you're stuck with it because that's the only music that I use for my podcast and all that stuff. I spoke with Laura, and we had a long conversation, and I think one of the best things that we got a lot of good stuff, but one of the best things I got from that conversation was how we need to, as Wing Chunners, maintain the value of that jewel that Chris Chan talks to us about. And she had said that I need to be more succinct in explaining that profoundness of Wing Chun. More succinct, yes, but we, as Wing Chunners, need to be more succinct in the profoundness of Wing Chun. And Buckminster Fuller's book Synergy comes to mind here. In that book, he'll bring up an idea and then just bring it up again in a different way and in a different way, and just hundreds, thousands of ways of looking at the same thing. And I'd say the only reason why that book didn't take over the world, become everyone's desktop Bible, is because no matter how many times he said it, it was still Bucky. Now, the Wing Chun way is we all understand the Wing Chun language. Now, it's a very similar language, but it's still very Wing Chun. But it's similar to the words of like Alan Watts or Buckminster Fuller or James Randi, Richard Feynman, Carl Sagan. Very similar, but still very unique in its Wing Chun. Just imagine what Randy or Bucky or any of those these giants, just imagine how much more they could have achieved or understood or have been able to communicate had they been able to understand and speak the language of Wing Chun, which you guys do, or at least you guys that have trained with me. It's not really I or you, it's we, and it's our communicating, battling out the details, sussing out the details, and helping us to self-correct, allowing me to steer the ship, so to speak. But still, I'm in need of that same self-correction as you are. I've just been doing it longer, focusing on it more intensely, I'd say. So I get to steer the ship, at least for now, right? But you guys gotta help with the sails, the anchors, the whole 9 yards. Okay. So it really is we. It's your voice, and your voice, and your voice, and sometimes my voice. Communicating at all these different levels that will help to resonate with others out there. Or at least resonate within ourselves. I mean, we're not necessarily trying to recruit here as much as we are trying to resonate. We're trying to dance. We are trying to sing. Ben and Mike, first of all, women. You said something about letting women take over. Well, first of all, you said let women take over? Really? Let? Oh my. Cleopatra. Yeah. Queen Elizabeth. Yeah, were you going to let them take over? Real? Okay. Let, huh? Ladies, stop laughing. Stop laughing. He's my friend. Ben, I don't know about you, but everything I do, well, up until kind of recently, has all been for the ladies. I think they've always been in control. They're so in control, they got us thinking that we're in control. Okay, so that's all I gotta say about that. Let women take over. Along with like delusional, absurd things like war. And now, listen, ain't nobody know the realities of war better than myself. You know what I mean? War is weak and stupid. So we're trying to rise up out of stupid. Now, another thing that Laura and I were talking about, there's Wing Chun and then there's normal person. Now, a normal person wouldn't take on the task, would just accept it all and, just try to get along, little doggy, and be happy and die. But Wing Chun has this warrior element to it. It's a do sort of a thing. We attempt to see things in a Wing Chun way that allows us to resonate with what's going on, right? See things as they really are. So then if we do want to do something about it, we can. We might not want to, or we may not be able to. We may have to look at things differently in order to cope. Like I said, you don't have to give things up just to see things as they really are, right? Appreciating life and loving one another, being good to one another is the most important thing, which then leads me to say, hey, there's this thing, Wing Chun, that might allow us to do that really efficiently and really deeply. Here's the thing with war. And, they talk about the Russians and the Ukrainians. When this is really a war of the oligarchs and the powers that be. They're subjugating and brainwashing their people into murder. It's been that way for a long time. And so there are no good people, bad people. There's just bad leaders and bad leadership and bad management of power. There are things worth fighting over, and things probably even worth going to war over. It wouldn't be Russians against the Chinese against the Americans, because that's all bullshit. That's what's called poor people perspective. You understand that, right? Poor people think that way. Nations like, yeah, the Russians against... No, these are innocent Russians being murdered and leading themselves to murder or be murdered. And innocent Ukrainians and et cetera, et cetera. It's just, if you don't see that... So, yeah, war. Huh, good God, y'all. What is it good for? Money, lots of money. Say it again, right? You see the connection there? Reciprocity. Reciprocality. Either one of those. Social media can be a really horrible thing or a really awesome thing. It's a really horrible thing when you let the whole cult of personality take over. In other words, when you're subscribing to, let's say, you're subscribing to people and you're commenting and liking, perhaps, but they don't comment on you. If you had content or something, they don't come to your site or your YouTube channel and comment on your stuff, right? And so I think it's really up to us to tip the balances here, right? And get out of this whole cult of personality and start, be the content that you want to see. Understand how the internet works. Commenting, subscribing, liking, right? Or even disliking if you don't want to like it. But that reciprocity is so important. And that communication, to use this technology to communicate on matters that are important, back and forth. Now, if you're a normal person, then I can understand. You just want to sort of use YouTube or whatever as almost like a television, right? Just kick back and, whatever happens. That's cool. But we're talking the language Wing Chun. This is a martial art. This is Kung Fu. And we do. Because why? Because we have the power and the energy and the inspiration to do. And what do? We just want to work more diligently towards attaining and embracing our humanity. And there's a lot to that. Unique perspective. What are we really trying to do here? We are trying to suss out at least 1%. If we could each at least represent 1% of our own unique perspective, boy, what we will have achieved. Instead of just projecting and parroting, right? Instead, we really reflect and we really dig deep to communicate each of our unique perspective, and we help each other to get there. And we say, no, that's not very unique. That's not unique at all. You are stupid. I am not stupid.